When you purchase a firearm, that weapon is to be for the protection of you and your family. If not, you can use it to run down on your ops, depending on what side of the law you're on. But under no circumstances should that weapon be used to be playing or playing around. I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I'm not playing with anybody with a loaded gun. There's nothing funny about somebody with a loaded gun in my face. We're not playing at that point. If you take out a loaded gun, you better use it. And if you don't plan on using it, then keep it where it belongs, in a box or away, far away. That brings us to our case study. Michael Hutto, 54 years old, co-owner, of Salt Life. Him and his girlfriend, Miss Duncan, God rest her soul, they were in a hotel on the way to Florida, some road trip or whatever, but they stopped at a hotel to hang out. Upon hanging out, Miss Duncan and Michael decided to basically play cops and robbers in the room. The big difference and the only problem is Miss Duncan was using her finger to play cops and robbers. Michael Hutto decided to use a live and loaded gun to play cops and robbers. Listen, we don't play with guns. We don't play with guns in any shape or fashion. A gun is nothing to be played with. If you pull out a gun, you better use it for all the right reasons or prepare to go to jail or end up dead, period. There's nothing funny about a loaded gun. So Michael Hutto pulls out his real live gun and he's aiming it at Miss Duncan's head while they in the bathroom going pow, 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 pow. What happens? One shot lets off, bam. Hutto shoots Miss Duncan. She's laid out. Mr. Hutto takes off with the gun, puts it in his book bag, heads on the road and drives. He's driving until he runs out of gas, all delirious and delusional at the gas station, panicking, sweating, because he knows what he just did. He shot his girlfriend, his 18-year-old girlfriend. That's a whole nother story, but we're gonna get into that. He shot his girlfriend in the chest, left her there for dead. Good thing the father, being a father, a real man, he was wondering, where's his daughter? Haven't heard from her in a few days. Used the iPhone app, tracked her down, found her in the hotel, body laid out, all of Michael's stuff is still there, all of her stuff is still there. Michael eventually had to turn himself in. Well, the police arrested him, and now he's headed facing manslaughter charges. All for what? For playing with a gun. But let me get to my second point now. You fellas, and I'm talking you older fellas, need to leave these young girls alone. Stop chasing after this young tender. You see, I get 5 years difference. Excuse me. I get 5 years. I get 10 years. But when you have a 36-year age gap, there's a problem. You see, when I grew up and coming out of high school, when I was in high school and I used to come out of school, this was something that was ongoing ever since I was in a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. The older dudes was always outside waiting for the young girls. I couldn't even get somebody in my age group. I had to go for the seniors, go for the juniors, go for somebody higher, because all of these old heads, 21 years old, 30 years old, was outside of the high school in the V, waiting for these young girls to come out. Leave these girls alone. Chase somebody in your age bracket. You see, you looking to control these women. You can't control them. You setting yourself up for failure and disaster every time by chasing these young girls. And you see, I get it. These young girls, they don't know no better. They're growing up. They see older guys as the father figure, as a provider, because the young boys don't got the bread. They don't have the cash like a Michael Hutto does. This guy's worth $1 million. What young girl, especially 18 years old, fresh out of high school, wouldn't grasp to a Michael Hutto trying to put the moves on her? He's got a big bank account. But there's a problem that comes with that. When you chase younger girls, you end up in trouble. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Leave these young girls alone. Yes, she's legal by the state law, but that's how you living? That's how you living? If she's legal, you going after it? You dudes are pathetic. And a lot of y'all not gonna like what I'm saying because it's true. Just because she's legal, that don't make it right. Get somebody in your bracket, in your age group. I'm not telling you just because you're 54, you got to get a 54-year-old. But why are you dumpster diving for an 18-year-old? Now you're facing manslaughter charges.